So how is traveling to China really like? In today's video I want to take you with me to a country I've never really been before, a country that for many people there's misconceptions, there is certain perhaps even hesitations to go there, and I wanted to see it for myself. Arriving in Shanghai, going to some of the neighboring cities, taking the train, staying in different parts of Shanghai City, I have to tell you, it was a very interesting experience. So if you are planning to travel to China, or you just want to really see how it looks like on the ground, on the one side strolling through the different neighborhoods, having some street food, on the other hand also staying at some absolutely incredible places that made this trip quite special for me. And over the coming week, diving in deep and seeing the different sides. And it will be a long video, so I'll make sure to leave timestamps down below for you if you're interested in a particular part. But with that, join me on the China experience. So good morning right now from the Shanghai Pudong airport. So first of all, in terms of getting into the country, that's going to be the most interesting part, because I'm supposed to not need any visa depending which passport you hold. You can either get a transit visa, 3 days, 6 days, or even up to 15 days visa free. It's kind of new. Hello, do you hear? Okay.
Please put your 4 left-hand fingerprints.
Fingerprints. Right, the last thing is to quickly fill out here little arrival card. Looks like I'm the only person here right now. All right, let's get out. So like with any country, there's a couple of things to keep in mind before coming, like having your visa so you can actually enter the country. But especially with China, the thing is, the internet can be fairly restricted. A lot of websites are blocked. And this is where today's video partner, PIA, Private Internet Access, comes in. Especially when you're on the road or you're outside, you're in a cafe, you're using the public Wi-Fi. The reality is your data is not protected. So a VPN, a virtual private network for short, it basically hides your IP address and protects you by encrypting your internet connection. And the best thing about PIA is it's super easy to set it up. You can have it on your laptop, on your phone, on unlimited devices, as many as you want. And it's just a click away and you can connect around the world. So wherever you are, you can connect to a server in the US, in Europe, in Asia. Me personally, I use it in many more ways. The thing is, if you change your IP address, like your geolocation with PIA, all of a sudden, if you're looking for flights, you might notice that if you change your location to a different country, the prices might be a bit different, so I'm saving a lot of money with that. The truth is, in some countries like Canada, America, the Netflix catalog, the Prime Video catalog is much, much larger. By changing your location, all of a sudden you have access to so many more series to enjoy. So right now, PIA is giving you a special offer of 83% off and another 4 months on top if you use the link down in the description. So generally for me, a VPN is a tool I use all the time to encrypt my data, to keep it safe, but even more so when traveling to some bit more restricted parts of the world where some websites, like for example YouTube, are not available without a VPN. It's obviously a must-have for me. So check it out over here or down in the description below. PIA, 4 months for free. And with that, let's get back to today's adventure. So, looks like there will be the last stop before we're inside.
Please hold the handrail in the luggage. Watch your feet. Take care of the elderly and the children.
So, visa on arrival, travel document. Let's go. Just passed through immigration. Took me literally a minute. Haven't even filled out. There was a different arrival card. Super nice young lady, spoke perfect English, and like it was really like friendly. She's like, yeah, when do you leave? I'm like, this day. She's like, okay. And so what can I say? I'm outside. I think within an hour the metro is gonna start to run. That is my plan, what I want to take, and there's a couple of options we have here. So on the one side there's a Starbucks. McDonald's is not open yet. And I have to say, this was one of the smoothest and fastest immigration. This was like Dubai style. You just pop in your passport. They're like, welcome. That's it. And also in terms of the return flight, I just wrote it down on a piece of paper. That I didn't even ask to see it. Going through with all my stuff. I mean, I have nothing to hide really, I think. But no checks, no nothing. It's just from the perspective of, you would think, might be very strict. They might want to know everything, where you stay, this and that. Nah, quick paper, you give it to them, no other questions, and yeah, here we are. So I'll take a look.
So how many days in China?
7 days, 1 week.
18 now?
So this is like 1 month, or what is it, short-term plan?
Yeah, this is the word.
Is it 1 month, or?
Oh, 1 month.
Do you have something for 1 week? Cheaper, or?
No, you can check data.
A 1 month SIM card? It's like cheapest rate they have is $45. No, I'm okay. I have robbed myself. Just bought the $40+ SIM card, $42. Could not pay for some reason, neither with Alipay nor with credit card there. So I gave her $100 cash. She gave me like 400 yuan back. Also, we got our hands on the first yuan. The nice lady from the SIM card basically exchanged my $100 with a slight markup. Look at that. Mao Zedong, right? Yes. Hello, 1 ticket to city center?
1 day pass.
Like one way? One way to city center?
Ticket on the machine.
On machine? I can do cash also on machine?
Okay, money, okay.
Honestly, surreal. A bit surreal to be here right now. Let's get to the city. Okay guys, I got on the street, I arrived at the hotel, I passed out cold, which I think is a good thing because I've only slept like a couple of hours on the plane. I had a lady actually with a baby next to me, so you can imagine being out here on the street right now. Seriously, I love it that still after all this time, man, picking the flowers. Still, if I kind of like unlock a new map, you know, GTA style, in this world, the excitement is still real. When it just feels all so different, when you see people are going about their day-to-day life and a place you would have never known about if you wouldn't have come. And Shanghai, obviously, like I said, always intrigued me for a very long time. So as of right now, I am starving. It's 3:30 p.m. I haven't eaten anything. So let's just pop into one of the little shops here. I see there's some type of soup shop there, and let's see. And then go to the iconic Shanghai skyline to just get a first idea. Today is just arriving, and I have to tell you, definitely, it seems like most people don't really speak English, as expected. You see some police on the street, not that much, honestly, nothing compared to where I'm coming from right now, Manila. Hey, how? This one? Now this one? Mm-hmm. Can I also have the noodle? Also. Yeah. Both. Yeah. Also the noodle. Alrighty guys, this will be my first meal in Shanghai. Just walked into some type of local little corner restaurant. So I was just asking around like what are the prices, and just noodles are like $4. The soup I think is around $5, and I was like $5 for the soup, but it's huge. Super hot. Oh my god, I love Chinese food. It's very different in all the different regions, and the way to basically say it is, it's like a broth, so it's nothing too crazy, very minimalist, just the flavor. I already can see it, the TV tower, the iconic purple-topped TV tower, and here the neighborhood is really quite interesting. So like narrow streets, Lots of old buildings. Some of the buildings a bunch of people take photos in front of. Here, as always, Starbucks got the spot. I mean, look at that. It's interesting. We're in Shanghai. Here, the peninsula. Oh, wow. Seriously. These hotels. There's going to be one special hotel on this trip, but look at that. Peninsula. Shanghai. So just the architecture, the history, you feel for how long this place has been around. Wow. And the crowd is starting to thicken like crazy. So one thing, mostly as expected, other than brand names, you don't see anything really in English. Lots of photo shoots going on as well. Everywhere pretty much. Looks like that's a wedding shoot. And generally the vibe from everybody, people are obviously very respectful. I still cannot fully gauge the English level. I mean, a little bit is there, definitely. I was able to order my food. He told me how much it was. But, I mean, if I'm here for a week, I might as well learn Mandarin, right? So, okay, wow. I'm blown away. Like, I knew it's a huge TV tower, but that is one big thing. Look at it. So we got onto the main promenade, and wow, I mean, in my time I've seen my fair share of city skylines, but let's go up all the way to the front before I make any too sudden conclusions. I mean, I love, let's say, a city skyline. Okay, no sudden conclusions. It is what it is. This is already top 3 city skylines I have ever seen. I mean, Hong Kong is crazy, but this honestly is more impressive. I would say the biggest reason for that is the river is not as wide. So in Hong Kong you also have like kind of similarly the skyline on one side. You stand Victoria Harbor, you look at Kowloon. Wow. So basically the TV tower is kind of in the front and it's arched, so the river is flowing like that, and the buildings are also lined up like that. Some big crystal ball, bunch of, so this is the tallest tower in Shanghai. I think definitely top 10 tallest buildings in the world. We'll need to look that up. But yeah, truly unique, so many colors, and really like done masterfully, like the different heights of these buildings. So here everything is a bit more spread out. So we are at the place called the Bund. Pretty much the whole area here. Oh, wow. Well, and so here we are, just like stand around there for 10 minutes. It's another classic one of those situations where if you are on the side with all the stick buildings, what you see is the other nice, different side. But if you are on this side with the smaller buildings, you're seeing this crazy skyline. And honestly, you're seeing it. I'm looking into the camera. If I turn around, it's really quite surreal. So it will be hard to say which one's like my favorite city visual, but no doubt about it. Top 3, definitely one above Hong Kong. And yeah, we're pretty much in a city of 26 plus million people. So it's a humongous place, and I think 1 week is gonna be enough to get a little bit of a first flavor, a little bit of a first idea. What I like about the Bund area is that, similar to Hong Kong, it is busy, it is touristy, but at the same time, it's fairly chill. Like, people also just go here for walks. You see it. It's largely, actually, mostly locals. Like, I don't know, maybe 10% not Chinese. Probably a lot of mainland tourism also here. Everybody is taking in at all. My first day. The first, obviously, feelings have been a little bit on edge. You arrive in an empty airport. you seeing like, I've once actually crossed the border into Shenzhen a long time ago, just for a couple of days. To me, I never counted it as having visited China. I don't think, you know, that's the way you can say kind of did. So that's the second Chinese mainland city unlocking this new map. And first arriving, yeah, actually that's what I want to say is when I was in the Hong Kong border back then, Hong Kong, China, I kind of like, I don't know, didn't go to the right visa place or something. They detained me for a couple of hours, asked me a couple of questions. And generally, obviously, if you're following like news, there's cameras everywhere, there's security everywhere. Less security than actually in most other cities like that. Really chill in terms of that. And the thing is, I mean, the city with the most cameras is London at the end of the day. At least, I don't know, in terms of like, I'm walking around with all my cameras out, all open pockets. I'm not really concerned about safety around here. Maybe if you're much deeper into the city, perhaps you should be careful with what is sticking out of your pockets. But yeah, this is the Bund, Shanghai. Just imagine 26 million people, 26 million lives, plus tourism. What's your name? Trilma. Okay, 谢谢. English is limited, but the smiles are real. He approached me actually. So down here right now, walking down, a couple of hotels right by the water. I bet that would be a crazy view. Who knows? Maybe we're gonna find out in the next couple of days. So some of these places have like balconies on top. This Watch Art Piece Hotel. Yeah, something there is closed off. I want to check that out. What is going on there? Probably some type of shopping promenade. But yeah, in some ways, obviously some slight. I've recently been to Hong Kong. You can check out the videos. Not really similar, but just in the sense that, again, with the water divided, crazy skyline in that sense, definitely. Let's get over there. So pretty much in terms of like police, you'll mostly only see them on like sidewalks, organizing the flow of traffic. And so far, honestly, like you would expect, in such a huge city, nobody minds. Nobody minds filming, nobody minds. So here it looks like we're walking into one of the main shopping streets. And actually it feels very much like many other busy big city shopping streets left and right. So you got shops. And what is that? Today's a Monday. Monday, 4:30 p.m. The city is bustling. So first in line, the Peace Hotel. Definitely want to find more out about that one. And then walking through, it's quite interesting. I'm wondering if it's all mainland Chinese tourism, because the, let's say, selfie action and people taking all the photos is truly quite crazy. Oh, that's interesting. They have like little, it's almost like a lifeguard, policeman lifeguard action going on. So basically there's like a little booth on this street and he is overlooking what's going on, but basically left and right. Oh wow, that looks quite cool. Colorful local shop. And oh yes, I just saw a photo of one of the bars I want to visit probably tomorrow. And yeah, it's crazy. What does kind of stick out is that as of right now here you don't see any of the big international brands. They are all around, I'm sure of that, we've already seen, but mostly it's kind of like Chinese shops, everything in Chinese signs, crazy busy music bustling. Let's walk in, let's see what is going on there. So here they're doing some kind of barbecue and it looks freaking good. So let's see. Basically huge kebabs, Chinese Okay, it's actually also like a lot of vegetables. Everything is iced here, so they're freshly preparing it in the back. Wow. And that on the main street of Shanghai. Like a huge food court, basically. Man is doing some hot pot, basically just dipping it in, boiling it up a little bit. Ready to go. The octopus preparation station. And the business is busy. No, seriously, what a freaky place. Like, food court, but extra colorful, let's say it like that. So basically, some type of stage here. There's the promotional material. Actually, there's some like Chinese or Korean music probably. Wow, interesting. It's hard to guess the price. Okay, now I'm seeing prices. Beefcake, da-da-da-da-da. Let's see, what can we try around here maybe? So what is really quite interesting is that it's almost like most of the stuff is here like an attraction park. So I am, not even that I'm not sure, I have no idea where the heck I'm walking in here and what this is. All right. But yeah, the whole front is basically just food and some fun stuff like that. And then I see when we walk further in, it starts to be like more shops, shopping. But yeah, very, very pleasant shopping street. And I'm surprised how it would be here. What are you selling, man?
Coffee market.
Oh, nice. Where is it? I can take a look at the coffee market? Is it far?
But we'll walk 10 minutes.
No, 5 minutes is too much. Maybe tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, boss. Fake market. That might be a different video. He has like a little card with all the brands. Okay. No, like I really am intrigued to learn a little bit about the history of Shanghai, because all these old buildings that you're seeing, wondering when they built it. National Musical Instruments Factory right there. I think this is their flagship right now. Interesting. So also some Chinese electronic car brand, Luxeed. Looks fresh. Honestly, looks better than Tesla, no cap. Probably isn't, but looks good. Interesting, beautiful Chinese technology, especially the TV, some of the headphones, even some of the phones. I mean, it's a good product after all. And honestly, like I said before, I used to use also other phone. I like to have two phones, and I'm just curious to see what the competition is doing. And in terms of the shop, they pretty much got this huge corner shopping space. It's in some ways sicker than the Apple one. So yeah, let's walk down, let's see what else we can find around here. Sun is slowly setting. So this feels like a never-ending shopping street, and what I like is the further you go back, the more kind of a little bit old school it feels. So every once in a while there is like a little square. And here, seeing a building from 1851, and the view here becomes actually quite freaky. This goes down as the most freaky Radisson blue of all time. And here a bit more kind of like older architecture. Okay, Radisson collection. So, oh wow, seriously, this building there, this jewelry store building. Pretty wild Zara. This old brutalist building. It's nice. And if you step into a side street, it starts to look real different real quick. So this is just one right from the main shopping street, and honestly, I'm digging the vibe. Old school restaurants, food, scooters everywhere. Overall, feels a bit more China. But still, obviously, we're very, very central. So my guess would be also, in many ways, that it's probably a bit more pricey here for me mostly. But honestly, no. Let's go grab some soup. This looks good. Like, my main concern is authenticity. And this looks pretty freaking real, so let's check it out. Like a little shop. Ni hao. One? Maybe I said the ni hao a bit too confidently because she was ready for me to speak. So I just ordered some dumplings. I'm like, coming in, one finger, point, let's go. Or actually, let's see. The Chinese dumpling adventure continues. Oh yes. So that is a thing that is, I would say, quite nice to know. That is what I wanted to find out here in the side streets is, how are the prices of the local place in the city center, in the fancy city center of Shanghai? And good little pair of dumplings, good portion. $2.30, 17 yuan. So yeah, good to see, good to see. Best of both worlds. Okay, what can I say? First day in Shanghai, already in some ways by the end of it. At first felt a bit on edge, new place, little quick trip, and by now, let's say it like that, over the next week, I really want to get a bit of an understanding for the city, feel it out. Like the outside areas, they're almost intrigue me a bit more, where absolutely nothing is catered to you, nobody speaks the language, maybe venture out into a different city. And overall, honestly, you know, there is this funny idea in the Western world right now that like, oh, you know, traveling to China, da 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 da. Like I said, I've been around, I've been even before here. But Shanghai almost, like this area is very playful, very comfortable, almost a bit too comfortable. So as of right now, definitely still feel a bit exhausted from the road of getting here. There's a couple of special ideas I have in mind. One very special place I wanted to shoot here, one of the main reasons why I wanted to come. You've actually already seen it a short bit in this video. And then, yeah, gonna be heading home right now, sleeping it out. And for the first time, I have now moved into pretty much one night. I've moved now into the city center, and I have to tell you, it looks and feels especially very different. So for the first time, we're gonna hit the streets right now together, get some impressions. So this is center. I'm actually living right there. I'm gonna show you a bit later what that is about. This Starbucks over here is absolutely insane. So somebody from the hotel told me that this used to be the biggest Starbucks in the world. I never like to get my coffee at Starbucks, but you cannot deny the fact that they set up some crazy operation here overall. And yeah, big squares, big walkways. Fit panda life over here. Not sure what it's about, but fit pandas. So starting off, we're basically at West Nanjing Road. There's like a mall complex, lots of street food, but where I'm passing through is a little bit the older buildings. And when I first arrived here, that is the first area that I checked out. And I thought it was really different, so that's where we headed to right now. But yeah, a bunch of different Chinese snacks, kind of like a nice mix of a really modern and in some ways fancy area, but at the same time they have these like street stalls. And no matter the day, it almost, like Shanghai is generally a bit, how to say it, high energy. Like it's a city, it's a financial hub. People, everybody that wants to live here, like there's no breaks. But at the same time, every day, in terms of how busy it is and how people go out, feels also a little bit like a Friday or Sunday, perhaps. So you see all around us are towering skyscrapers. And this right here used to be kind of like one of the really old neighborhoods, and they're basically completely renovated it. I think some are private, others are little cafes, and I think it's amazing. Instead of just tearing down, oh yeah, it's a Louis Vuitton. Look at that. What is going on? Is this like a public shop? Not properly, I guess. I can buy Louis Vuitton here? Louis Vuitton? Yeah, okay. So I would say what is the coolest part about this neighborhood is very much the mix of old and new. I think this neighborhood until a couple of years ago was just old houses, and now they're kind of like transforming it into, yeah, just shops, things like that. Here, look at the type of cafes. Very busy. People are enjoying, and just the buildings. Again, they kind of like restored them, made like really cool, very tasteful places out of it. And I think for many people thinking of China, thinking of big cities, you would think it's only like new skyscrapers, everything. But I think what a way to preserve, on the one way, the old buildings instead of just tearing them down, but also like really, really chill. Oh, there's even the metro station. Exactly, this is where I came out earlier when I was arriving here. So yeah, this is the vibe around this neighborhood. So we're right now on Julu Road, and I have to tell you, what a different vibe from everything I've seen so far. So it's like a narrow, really quiet street. You have the trees pretty much covering all of it, old style buildings and really cute cafes by the side of the road, like a very slow paced around here. People just sitting on their chairs, sipping on a coffee. And from what I understand, this street is also very much nightlife, probably somewhere around here, like little rooftop bars, but in many ways kind of the old district. And honestly, I dig the vibe. Very chill. Probably in the evenings get busy. Looks like we have wandered into some type of little concert. People seem to enjoy it, all gathered around it. And look at that, he has all his scan codes so you can find him. And over here, this is one of the main reasons why I set this area on the map. Wow, and it does not disappoint. So basically it's an ancient Buddhist temple. Look at that. Let's head there. So this basically is the huge Jing'an temple. Probably pronounce it a bit differently, but basically it's one of the oldest temples. I just saw a sign that this temple was established before the city of Shanghai itself, but over the years has been destroyed many times, then rebuilt. And yeah, it looks absolutely massive, especially surrounded by skyscrapers and malls. It's kind of interesting, but at the same time, the way they preserved it, such an epic structure, and rebuilt it perhaps. Wow. And the whole district here is named actually after this temple. So pretty much everything we've seen so far is walking distance, more or less, from where I'm staying. And I'm just realizing these Apple crazy mofos. Look at that. This spaceship down there, you can guess what that is. So you're definitely, if you're coming for shopping here, not going to be in a shortage of anything. There's a mall on every single corner. It's quite crazy. And also what is quite crazy is that every single district in Shanghai so far that I've been to, and I've walked around quite a lot, is really livable in the sense of many nice cafes, many nice, but the character is very different. Some are super quiet, like the one we walked through before, and some are just, you know, metropolitan city surrounded by all these skyscrapers. Actually, I was considering to stay in that place over there when I was planning my time, so also a good neighborhood. But yeah, I would say let's grab a taxi and let's go to the old Shanghai. A legendary place, they told me. Let's check it out. So the buses look quite sleek, but the problem is Google Maps is not going to tell me how to go. I don't know the app to figure this stuff out. But somebody told me I can set up Alipay, and for the first time I'm using it to order a taxi. The taxi is on the way. Should be going through my credit card, hopefully. So let's see if all of that's gonna work out. Somebody else ordered me a taxi before, and you needed to give them like a code when they arrive. I don't see a code on here, so taxi adventure begins to a very different neighborhood, I think. So guys, my guy is here, nicely right in front of the temple. Uppa. Up. Ni hao.
We all wear that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that was pretty easy. The route kind of disappeared from my phone. I hope the guy gets paid. I'll make sure in the app. It should be. And yeah, so if you're in China, looks like Alipay is working. Had some issues in the airport with it for the first time, but basically to get back to where we are in the district where is the Wukang Road. And almost anybody I talked to who has been to Shanghai, anybody at like the Places Estate, they say this is a legendary road. So the building we should be approaching here, the Wukang Mansion, it's kind of like very famous for the fact that a lot of politicians, celebrities, mostly from China, so I just checked the list online, don't know anybody, but you see it, people take photos all around. I think it's the building in front of us. And from what I hear is basically the Wukang Mansion has been built in 1924, so celebrating the big one, 100 years. And it has been designed by, I believe, a Slovak architect or something like that, in the French style. And yeah, wow, okay, I get it. We must see it any second, but basically this is the road. We're gonna head there. And yeah, it looks very different, very European in many ways. Very busy, cafes left and right. And so far that is Shanghai in so many ways so interesting. So many different contrasts, so many different vibes. Like Hong Kong doesn't have that for me that much. Or of course like cities like Shenzhen or something like that, or... Oh wow, okay. So extremely well maintained as we see. So this is basically the building, has like a couple of nice balconies. Probably these boxes are air conditioning would be my guess. Looks a little bit like a small Flatiron building. But yeah, let's walk into the Wukang Road and see what's going on there. So as you can tell, the hype is real. Everybody is taking a non-stop photo basically. And generally also filming in China so far has been really easy, really chill. Most people don't mind, don't care, minimal curiosity. And yeah, so basically this is kind of like the intersection with the building. Lots of small little houses, obviously also just newer built Chinese residence blocks. And walking in, from what I understand, if we're gonna walk through, there's a bunch of different residences where over the last couple decades, perhaps even the last 100 years, somebody was assassinated here. And it's funny, when you look up this building, there's this Google, like there's this search result that comes up and it says, what is Wukang Mansion famous for? And then it says it's haunted by the ghosts, by the people that what is the word we can use right now? Well, it's self-deletion basically, let's say it like that. Quite interesting that that comes up as for one of the reasons why it's famous. But yeah, let's see if we can cross. Basically very busy, almost like hard to walk on the pedestrian pathway, and people seem hyped. And that's what I actually really like, that they have so much history, especially Shanghai, over 100 years. So here we see built in 1933, Mediterranean style resident. So it used to be the residence here almost 100 years ago of some Italian politician. Now they pretty much opened it up, advertising one of the Chinese electric SUVs, which are pretty much everywhere. And they look pretty good. And looks like it's pretty much the whole street's almost like a museum with some cafes, basically. Long black ice. One. Wow. I think my Alipay worked. For the first time I paid now with Alipay. That's pretty dope. And where I was planning to sit is occupied now. You cannot have it all. Very nice. Nice black and white, huh? What are you? You're a photographer or?
I'm a little English.
Little English?
Can you check?
You, photographer?
Okay. You're a student?
No.
You're still young.
I'm pretty young, yeah. Try to stay young. What do you think? How young am I? How many years? How many years?
No.
What do you think? Me, how many?
2.6.
2.7. 2.7. So got my hands on some ice black, long black, pretty good actually. What is it, like $3.50? The taxi actually here was really cheap. The taxi is pretty cheap. I just checked the taxi to the next location I want to check out today. It's gonna be more than half an hour ride, so I'm considering to take the metro. And yeah, overall, really cool area. But let's see. I would say let me show you where I stay, which pretty much from there you can go anywhere. You can go to the Bund within like 30-40 minutes. Lots of different neighborhoods, very central. The middle house. Let's check it out. Let me show you around. Talking about a place to stay in Shanghai, this location is exactly what I was looking at. So we're really central, we can pretty much walk everywhere. Like I said, we're looking down on one of these main squares I've showed you earlier, and we are staying at the middle house. This is it, pretty much. And as of for the, let's say, hotel portion of today's video, let me give you a quick tour. So this is the Gray Cafe on the 3rd floor. You're getting a nice view, you're getting a nice vibe. On the weekend it's pretty busy, but generally I would say it's like a mid-size hotel, but it feels extremely boutique. So it's actually fairly large. But let's go in. I would say we're gonna go down to the lobby in a second, but just the elegance, the style, the whole vibe of it is very, in some ways, kind of like a bit of a lounge feeling. You get the browns, you got this actually real gas fire over here, a bunch of different terraces on the side, and I think they have like 13 floors. Amazing, crazy, amazing gym actually. But let me take you down to give you an idea how it looks where we are. So standing in front of it, it's a nice, I would say, building, but inside, the way they designed it, it's minimalist in some ways, kind of fancy in other ways. As you see, we got some Shanghai wealth here in front of it. Looks pretty crazy. And yeah, walking in, I think we're staying on the 13th floor. Excited to show you also the view. But generally, I would say just because of the location, you can kind of like walk everywhere from here more or less. It's really good. They actually have 2 buildings. So this is the main building. In the second building over there, you can walk over easily. They have like a really nice staircase leading to one of the restaurants, the Fresca restaurant. I think Italian modern food. Tried it out yesterday. It's pretty good. Today I think we're gonna try the Asian restaurant, which I'm really excited about. But coming in, there's a couple of moments that are like really impressive here. So this ginormous chandelier is basically leading you in. As you hear, the music is kind of like very old school. Overall, the whole energy in the hotel is very calm, peaceful, dimmed lights, as you can see. And I would say, let me take you up to the room, give you a quick idea. But I would say my favorite part, next to just the design, the whole energy, must be the gym area. So, or let's say the pool area to be more specific. So they have it on the ground floor. So that must be the nicest elevator music ever. Just stopped it because it's probably copyrighted. But what I was telling you a second ago is that the pool area looks extremely aesthetic. The sauna, the gym, I've been there this morning. You know, when you're traveling to have that little escape. Generally, this is like very much an urban sanctuary. Like it's really calm everywhere. And the way they designed it also, it's very, very modern, but at the same time, it has a cultural touch to it. So coming into the room, lots of glass. We have a nice view of the old part of Shanghai. You're gonna probably see more in today's video about it. There is one of the main shopping streets leading through here, and basically like a nice seating area. The bed is a bit messy right now, but I'm gonna show you when it's made up. And here, that's what I mean, kind of like still nice arched traditional touches. the artwork, of course, mini bar, or they call it, I think, maxi bar. All the drinks are complimentary, nice coffee machine. And what I actually like quite a lot is to have this huge wardrobe, which looks like a bit of a mess right now, to be fair with you. But just can store all your things here, keep the room nice and tidy, and super nice bathroom as well, with a bathtub, which I haven't used, but nice shower. So overall, due to the, I would say on the one side, the vibe of the place, but even more so the location, like if you want to have the crazy Shanghai view, staying by the Bund is nice, but it's just one of many areas, and here you're kind of like centered in the middle of it. Got nice restaurants, and yeah, this is the middle house, the home during the time in Shanghai. So where we just arrived should be the Yuyuan Garden. We're much closer to the water again. I think by the end of the video you're gonna see the insane Shanghai skyline again. But in many ways I think today's video is very much so like Shanghai is not what you might think. It's not just the modern skyscrapers, it's not just a city that has been built in the last couple of years. You really see and feel the history, and at the same time super fashionable city. Like you have to say, the neighborhood we were, oh, it's probably raining. People are hiding here. Let's see. We're going to the gardens and it's raining. Whew, nice. The refreshment when I was entering into the subway, it was kind of like starting to rain. But it looks like a cloud is moving away. So we're getting a bit of different weather conditions today as well. Part of Shanghai I've never been to right here. We're starting to see again the iconic skyline, the TV tower there. This is the J Tower, the second tallest building in the world. Hope I'm not wrong. Check it. But the second one in China, the tallest in China for sure. And there's supposed to be some type of traditional Chinese garden here. And I thought, let's get closer to the skyline, maybe even head into this business district there with these crazy skyscrapers. Now that's more like it. So heading to these gardens, I love when that happens. I'm just bumping into some type of market area, very obviously China vibes. As you've seen, has been raining, so water is pouring down there. The man is selling some barbecue. Look at that. That octopus meat. And yeah, let's walk through this market. It's on our way anyway. Now that right now is absolutely epic. So basically the main road is closed off right now. We're having some, what looks like a temple, but looks like a commercial building. They're selling stuff in a huge market with probably millions of people passing throughout the day here. And just the fact of like, those buildings are probably real for the most part. And great area. Overall, we're very close to the Yu Gardens, something like that. We'll check out what that is in a second. But that for me is already one of the highlights, and in many ways so many contrasts today. Like this is probably a little bit more what you would think of when you think Shanghai. I'm seeing a food court. I have to come in, and like this barbecue, I tried it before, it's really good. All kinds of different barbecue they're selling, everything's steaming, everything's cooking. Wow. And the prices are also very reasonable, pretty much for the most part $3-4 you can get a full meal at any of these food courts, and it's humongous. Like it goes all the way in the back. Let's see what they have. Seriously, like that might be some of the most interesting and colorful food courts. Crab. Okay, in the back we're basically coming out to a bit of a tourist street. And honestly, in this neighborhood so far, I'm seeing the most tourists in Shanghai so far. Like a city center, things like that, not as much. Okay, we have to do a little duty for my mom. Buy her a magnet. I'm actually quite happy, so I don't have to look for one. She has a huge fridge full of them, so let's take care of that. Yep, this one. How much?
25.
25. So like $5, yeah? Okay, I'll think about it. We'll budget.
Do 20, okay.
No. I can do $1. 7. Are the negotiations continuing? I thought this is how it works. 15. Okay.
One more?
You have a little bag? Yeah, this one.
You need a bag?
Do you have a small bag? Maybe just small?
Yeah,
No?
I have.
So that was a little negotiation success. We got it down to like $2.50. I'm like, what? $5 for a magnet? Nah, I don't think so. But actually, you know, they also have like big markets, I'm sure, in Shanghai, where I'm sure the prices they will give me are going to be very high. So we might check that out. So this looks actually quite fancy. We got these temple setups on the bottom with shops everywhere, and at the bottom they're also selling this food. So basically the baozi, I guess they call them, super steamed bun with crab and pork. Must be pretty large. Wow. Still not hungry. Either gonna eat later at the Chinese restaurant in the hotel or maybe have some food. But let's make our way to these gardens. Through was the Yuyuan Old Street market since 19 or something, 100 years basically. This place back there. Here's like a more, let's say, budget market. Could be doing some more negotiations down here. So it seems like the gardens are closed today, but that's fine. I think we already got a good idea of it. Pretty much the market and pavilion area is connected to it. But like I said before, there's these parks pretty much all throughout the city. And this one's facing right into the Shanghai skyline. So let's pass through here. Whoop. So I just have to say, they have some epic parks, and we're pretty much almost made it from the north of the city. So this Wukong area, I think, is like 35-minute drive to the top there. And here we're facing pretty much the business district. Looking forward to see again this sick river view that I saw when I first arrived. And pretty much the modern Shanghai. What I think is really interesting is still kind of how old and new is fusing. So they're still allowing just vendors on a bike to do hot dogs in these districts, which in most countries probably doesn't exist for the most part anymore, or not in the same way. But honestly, to me, I think it's pretty cool. We have made it back on the Bund, and it's quite crazy here. So many buildings on this side are actually very old. There is this crazy amazing place, the Fairmont, one of the older legendary buildings. Video about that is coming soon. Quite excited about it. And basically, historically, this site used to be kind of like the hub, the part that has been very developed. From what they told me is this, just a couple of decades ago, it was pretty much flat. Then to build the Oriental TV tower, this iconic thing you've seen in this video throughout, probably in the beginning. And then they developed into the business district, and it's, to me, it's a little bit somewhat similar vibe to Hong Kong, where you have the Victoria Harbor, you have the skyline on the other side. but still quite different, and during some weather conditions perhaps even more impressive, in the sense that the river is a little bit closer. And when I first came out here, when I arrived in Shanghai, I was really blown away. Still very impressive, and depending which side you stand on, because the river is kind of flowing like that, the perspectives and the views change all the time. I'm almost like not recognizing it because I've only been there. And I think there should be ferry boats. If there is, we'll take it. And I just checked on the Shanghai Tower. It is the 3rd tallest tower, this thing over there. And honestly, I should have known, because the 2nd tallest is the Merdeka in Malaysia. But I have to honestly tell you, it might be a bit more impressive, perhaps. In Burj Khalifa is a sick looking building, but it's also thinner. So in terms of the structure itself, all the way to the top, it's quite a wide building, 3rd largest in the world. Yeah, like this Merdeka Tower in Malaysia is just opening up, 2nd tallest tower, but has an antenna. I mean, you know, it looks cool, but the skyline is insane. And this might be something we want to get on. Here, how funny, my sister just sent me this one here. So this is Shanghai right now, pretty much at the bottom. This is how it used to look like. There was nothing crazy. It's okay? Okay. Okay, so it's quite interesting. They have a river cruise, which is like 50 yuans, like $10. And then they have the ferry. Let's see, maybe I can Alipay my way into here. How does that work? Okay, so I just ended up paying cash, 2 yuan. It's like 30 cents. So the cruise, I'm sure, is pretty cool. I don't really have the time for that today. And I always like to... Oh, okay. It is busy. I was like, always like to see the local way of getting around. But let's get in. Let's see what we can see. So nice ferry boat. Obviously, let's go on top. But I don't think we will be able to fight ourselves through here. I think there's a lot of domestic tourism, because a lot of people are super excited about seeing it all, almost more than me, perhaps. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. All right, maybe should have done the cruise then. So one thing you're gonna notice is that people are generally quite in a rush to get in, to get out. It's a bit like as if you don't make it out first, you don't make it out. Especially going in. We have arrived somewhere on the Pudong side, so basically where all the big buildings are. No idea. I mean, I don't know how you call that, but I call that freedom. Just a dude on the street with a chair taking a nap in the business district. Seriously, like, no, it's like very small things where I feel like everything is pretty chill. They still let people, like I said before, the vendors on certain areas, dude on the street sleeping on a chair. To me, and I feel generally pretty chill, like in terms of, I'll probably talk about it in the final video, my general impressions overall, but let's see, the Pearl TV Tower should be like 20-minute walk. We'll do that, we'll get our 20,000 plus steps in today, and then we'll head back and get some food. So I would say what is really cool to be on the other side is, for the first time, I'm properly getting to see the side I was living on so far, so to say. In the back, the TV tower, will head there in a second as kind of like the last spot for today. But generally, what a humongous city in many ways. I mean, probably the largest metropolitan population in the world at the end of the day. And so many different neighborhoods. Like, I've literally been today throughout the whole city. Oh, wow. Chili's. And every single neighborhood was quite different, but at the same time all of them were like really interesting in its own ways. So 30 years ago it was completely flat, nothing was here, and now this is kind of like the most futuristic side, that especially when you're staying somewhere there you're seeing. And here on the other side, you basically, the river flows all the way back and the city does not end. It just doesn't end. Here we're seeing some of the oldest building, has been around for hundreds of years. Some of them definitely over 100. Getting a bit hungry, gonna be heading soon probably home. I've walked way too much today, seriously. It's kind of like a little bit New York feeling, where you keep walking, something interesting comes up, it engages you, and then you realize you're burning out. So before I'm completely gonna run out of fuel, decided to fuel up here with some type of noodle. That should hold me over for a couple of hours. And then let's go check out the TV tower, and that'll be it, I think. Oh, how convenient. My phone died, so I can get a power bank here to charge. That's amazing. It's just you need to scan it with your phone. Well, at least something. Wow. So basically have made it exactly to the TV tower, Oriental TV tower, towards dawn. And they have this really cool kind of like walking passage around it. Wow. It's basically around the TV tower. There's one intersection, bunch of cars passing by, and you have this loop pretty much overlooking. And yeah, it really became iconic. I think whenever somebody says Shanghai, this is what you think of. And it's a very nice way to take it in. So all around it, it's pretty much the downtown, the business district, not downtown, business district. And locals tell me there's not that much to do here, but overall, big city vibe. It looks like further to the back is just like residential buildings, a couple condos. That's probably about it. Well, next try. And this is the Shanghai Tower right there. Oh, sunset. The tower lights up, look absolutely epic. And again, it starts to rain. I would say what a crazy day it has been. Let's head home. So there's my guy for today. Let's see where we can board, probably there. Goodbye, Lotus Tower. Or what is it, Lotus TV Tower? No, not Lotus. What is it? Oriental, something like that. Up. 你好。
你好，515啊。
Yes.
好。
谢谢。
拜拜。对，门把手。
So, back in the middle house. Ooh, what a busy day. Cannot wait to get into the room. I think you can imagine almost what am I doing, not just spending all day long here. Basically, I'm gonna have dinner here probably right now. Hello. Gonna have dinner here right now, and not right now, a little bit later. Until what time is the pool open?
Sorry?
At the pool, until what time is it open?
The cabin room?
Pool.
Pool open time from 6:30 a.m. to the 11 p.m.
11 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And wrapping up the night at -1. The pool during the day is actually pretty busy. This is like a proper swimming pool, 1.5 meters depth. But after 10 p.m, obviously nobody here. They close at 11 p.m, which I think is actually quite great, quite special. So, gonna go for a little swim, and we're gonna call it the proper day in Shanghai. Honestly, I have a bit of a blackout in the sense that I started like 12 and then I was back here at 8. So for 8 hours, I've pretty much been non-stop through all the different neighborhoods. Extremely interesting city. Like, I cannot mention it again. I did not expect so much history, so much different neighborhoods, so many also slow paced, like such a different vibe in one city. You have this huge energy, super energetic city, so much going on, big buildings, big stores, and then small little cafes, little side roads, little, as if it's a different city. Like, and yeah, there's going to be a series of a couple of videos. I'm in Shanghai for a little bit over a week. Going to be also heading to some of the neighboring towns, and generally this place in terms of everything, pretty much the design, the aesthetics, like just this pool area, the lobby. And the couple of nights that I was here, checked out their 2 restaurants. So you have seen Chinese was actually quite a bit with a twist. I would say it was all traditional, but like a little bit, you know. And then the other ones like modern Italian, also nice. And even more so kind of like how it's not a huge hotel, but just the aesthetics, the design, in some ways fairly minimalistic, but just the angles, the architecture, the interior design, let's call it. Not an expert, but I do know when I see a good angle and when I see something that really somebody thought through. Not gonna lie, the pool is cold, wakes you up good. Seriously, that's just what I needed after such a long exploration. I just checked my step count, 26,000 steps. Oh, my feet were done. But this 20 minutes of sauna, we're gonna be golden. Nice and warm. Got a world to see. We are right now in the heart of Shanghai, but I want to see something that is a little bit more China. We are at the Bund, pretty much the heart of Shanghai, but I have to tell you, the city is very international. In many ways, it's very comfortable. And I just want to take a train today and go somewhere a little bit further away. Taxi? Hello. Taxi, yep. Up. Up. 你好, Shanghai station? And honestly, they have super nice taxis here. It's like an electric car. Probably like a little bit Tesla inspired, probably very much. They look very good. Probably not as good from what I hear, as they're much more affordable, but lots of nice electric cars driving in Shanghai, probably all over China really. And yeah, I've had like issues figuring out my route to the station. Right now we're a little bit short on time. We have a 10-minute buffer to figure it out. The train ticket's booked, but I think I need to kind of check in. I'm always a bit tight in terms of my scheduling, but today is a bit extra tight in a place where most people don't speak English. More than, I would say, 95%. Yeah. Adventure. Okay, 谢谢. Hello. So actually I wanted to figure out the metro, but Google Maps is not helping you out with that. They don't offer, like, let's say, metro connections. I have 13 minutes and I'm pretty much huddled in. There's no way I can pass. So let's go in, let's show them my ticket and see where it's gonna go. So basically, you can book the tickets on many different like international sites as well. I'm basically having a local helping me out. The ticket is booked. I've been like quite busy the last couple of days. Show ticket and ID. All right, let's go. I'm just seeing the show ticket and ID sign. Let's hurry up just a little bit. So nice big station. Platform, platform 5 up, okay. So he told me up, we're going up. Going through security right now, let's see. Hey man, sorry, do you know your way around here?
What are you looking for?
Suzhou train. Like, yeah, if I can identify the platform somehow. No?
Once when you get up there,
Yeah.
you should be able to see the left and right sides. It depends what does it say?
All right, the dude roughly knew his way around. We got 10 minutes. Nice station overall, kind of like shops, pretty chill. I was trying to guess his accent. Seems to me like maybe hard, but something perhaps. He doesn't look Eastern European, but the accent sounds a bit like it. So big waiting areas, lots of people. Interesting. Platform 7 waiting room. What's this?
Passport.
Passport. Ticket check. All good? Okay. Well, they let me through. I guess I made it. So, a bit of a hassle. Let's find wagon 1. First class it is. I'm like yelling here. Local dude walking by is like, I know these white people, they yell it randomly. Wow, the train looks actually really nice. So next to it is a bit old school. Looks actually like a bit of a Soviet Union train over there, a little bit like back from my childhood. But this thing here, I'm just hoping. Let's ask. Sorry, wagon 1, number 1.
Watch it.
Hold right there. Should I go like this? Okay. So it's good that we double checked because we are, in fact, going in the wrong direction. So wagon 1, first wag. Oh, I guess so the train is going in that direction in this case. I will be back. This is more or less a one-day trip just because I wanted to get out. I wanted to see a bit more, perhaps. I wanted this adventure where I don't know how to get around, how to let's take a little photo, how to... Yeah, and I think that is a little bit perhaps the difficulty of traveling China is that most people don't really speak, but everybody is sort of open to speak with translator. They're kind of used to it. So if you have a local person help you out on the phone, that worked for me quite well, or Google Translate your way. So let's pull up my ticket. This is my train. Looks pretty nice. So the front is kind of like nice and pointy. You want to have your trains nice and pointy. We have 5 minutes left. Look at how many insects this train has demolished. It's funny. Honestly, this must be one of the best looking trains I've ever seen. To be fair with you, in Europe, especially in countries like Germany, France, trains are late all the time. They look like rinky dinks. Even sometimes the air conditioning doesn't work. I'm not kidding with you. It's a bit weird, but this actually brings back a little bit homey feelings. Might be soon visiting again Eastern Europe, and those trains are a vibe. But let's see what the future of China has in store, so to say. First class. So, oh wow. Okay, this is the private room. This is where the real fun. Hello. This one? Mm-hmm. Wow. Now that looks nice. Mm-hmm. Opa. Like always, we might be late, but I have a track record of always making the impossible work. 25 minutes away, I was in the center of Shanghai. Had no idea how to get here. Called my backup contact, and here we are, and I have to tell you, this is fucking epic. It's like a 30-40 minute drive. I think car drive is like 2 hours or something. I have no idea how fast this train is going to be. So mostly old-timers. I don't want to even talk too loud. There's a nice old lady next to me laying down. We'll figure out the seats in a second. But let's just, I would say, go for a little walk. So the interesting thing is the seats are also kind of like aligned in different directions. So the people behind me, let's see, is this open? Yes. Okay, so here's the regular class. On my way back, I think I was probably just gonna buy the regular ticket. Also looks nice, like a good regular train, but this looks like out of a spaceship. So nice, kind of like, not a railwood, but the style. These seats face this direction, and this is facing to the front. And I think in the whole wagon we have like around 10 capsules. I mean, they look like little capsules. There's a kid laying there. Here, some type of little goodies. They even have a microwave. Let's check out the toilet. Oh. Wow, wow. A toilet that smells nice. And it's not common on the train. I mean, let's be real. All right. So, going out. I think this will be, after all, the budget seat for this ride. So in case you don't want to pay 30 bucks, maybe they can let you drive here. And I think there's like, I don't know, like ultra first class or whatever it may be. Who knows? I saw there is seats in there. So overall, quite impressed. I mean, it is a short ride, but considering 30 bucks for frickin'... Ooh, I could live here. Let's see. Let's check out what can these buttons do. I'm pressing it. I'm hearing a sound. We're taking off. The plane is landing. The Eagle is landing. I'm wondering if this is ever gonna stop. Okay, it did stop actually, but I want to lay down all the way. No, this is going back. So the city we're going to today is Suzhou. It's, I think in some ways still considered kind of like, in terms of like population count, Shanghai, but it is a separate city. I saw they have some sick architecture. They have an old town. I think Mission Impossible 3, the ending. I mean, Tom Cruise is running like crazy in every movie, but... Oh, I'm like on an Emirates first class here. Just for 1% of the price. Okay, I'm gone. All the way. Seriously, this is insane. I am laying down all... I'm being loud a little bit here in the first class, but... Here we are. Oh, yeah, I could easily go for like an 8-hour ride around all of China like that. Let me just get up, quickly show you. We got nice little shoes. We'll take them for takeaway perhaps. So this is basically how this setup is looking here. Got one nice little pillow, leather seats. Oh, and we're moving. We're taking off. Let's check the time. It is exactly 1:49. Like, it might be funny, in most countries trains run on time, even in Eastern Europe, when where they're still running like very old school trains. Some of them are really old. Even in India, where you have $1 trains, usually they're on time, but for some reason in Europe, I don't know why, maybe because it's owned by the government, whatever it may be, trains are always late. Sometimes you get to the train station, you're probably gonna miss the train, but you still make it. And yeah, I have to tell you, I was not sure what kind of first class, like in some countries they call first class, they call it luxury, but at the end it's just kind of like, I mean, in Sri Lanka you get the first class train, but actually it's just the most regular one. The other ones are just a bit more wilder perhaps. Laying down, half lay, sit. Here we have a light button. I don't see it really doing anything. Thank you. Tea. 谢谢. getting a nice little tea here. I think, what is it, probably jasmine. And we're getting some nice little bag. Fast railway. Pretty nice. Let's see what we got in there. Ooh, wow. It's not like some regular bag here. So first of all, we got some raisins to fuel the energy. Then we got some squishy God knows what. Seriously, what is that? I don't know. One by one we're getting them out. This looks like some, oh, yep, cookie. We cracked it. And wow, beef jerky. It's kind of like dried beef. I've had a huge breakfast. Maybe I'm gonna try them a little bit later. Just had a huge breakfast. We got some coated nuts. And so setting up here a little bit my collection. Last, almonds. Nice. Honestly, this is pretty solid. Not some nonsense, just some like waffles or something. We're getting a proper fuel here for the road. But I will try the tea. And so here we are. Crossing China. Lots of very similar looking buildings. We're passing by basically the outskirts of Shanghai right now. Here we're seeing another train in the back passing by. I think it's the same one we're inside right now. And yeah, definitely one of the nicest trains I've ever ridden. There's no doubt about that. Not gonna lie, I love the old trains in Ukraine. One of my favorite things to do. When they drive, you hear a little bit something like this. Okay, so this train seems to be even a bit of a bigger boss. It's passing us easily. The color is a little bit different. I'm actually quite excited once he's gonna pass us to see the back. The front looked pretty brutal. Look at that brutal face. Now that's what I call a gangster train. This one? Okay. The train is already at Suzhou Station. I think she had a translator on though, so sweet. She's like reading. Oh wow, okay. I'm seeing some big buildings right now. Yeah.
I noticed that you were to
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
So maybe you have a conversation I can
Yeah, sure. Do you have YouTube on your phone?
I don't have YouTube, but I have Instagram. So
Instagram, yeah.
so maybe you can check it. And I am really curious about what you just said. So
Yeah. That's me. And
Okay, fine.
that's the link to the videos that I have.
so you're quite famous.
A little bit.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Only English name. My Chinese name pronounced like Hui.
Hui. Okay. Then what was your English name you said?
Laura?
Your English name you said? Monet?
Yeah.
So if you get to choose an English name, I should get to choose a Chinese name, you know?
Yeah.
Can you recommend me a Chinese name? What do you think?
I think maybe you can find a symbol like what you like, or maybe just some
What does,
some word.
let's say, what does thunder mean in Chinese? Thunder. Thunder.
雷电
How?
雷电
What about
Oh,
lightning?
闪电.
What about lightning?
闪电
Shandia?
Yes.
That's not bad. Okay, Danny Shandia Def. I like it. Okay, making our way out. It was a nice, hard to say how long. How does that work? Is there a button? Oh, manual. Hard to say how long the ride was. Yeah, let's go to the first class exit. Let's enjoy. Let's squeeze the most out of this experience. Honestly, this guy is doing it right. Passed out cold. All right, bye-bye. So, Suzhou, you know, many go to World to see style trips are characterized by the fact that there's no plan. I have no idea about the city. I don't even have accommodation booked yet. So, should be fun. We're rolling up. Suzhou railway station. Fishy. And so, here we are in sunny, beautiful Suzhou. I hope that's not for me. So, that has been the train. Pretty nice. Sounds like somebody's in trouble. So, what can I say? I was actually in many ways surprised how smooth and easy it was to get in. I was told maybe I need to get like a printed ticket, but no, because there was not like a barcode or anything on the booking confirmation. But they let me in with the idea, I guess it was backed up in the system. And like I said, it was like $27 or something like that. I mean, it's only like a half an hour drive, but still, I mean, like taking a taxi would be more expensive, taking a bus would be longer. And honestly, just to check it out, I think the regular class is like $5 probably on the way back. Gonna do that, because to be fair, for 30-40 minutes, like, you cannot enjoy your leaning back experience way too much, or you might fall asleep, but they will wake you up. She told me that we're arriving. So, Suzhou, as of right now, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna orient myself a little bit, figure out what is going on here. There is the, I think, Oriental Tower that looks really cool, a couple of modern buildings. But mostly I'm not here for that. I'm here actually to see more a Chinese town that is not like an international crazy hub. Perhaps it is in some way, but definitely not like Shanghai, and that is what I am curious about. So we are gonna say goodbye to our beautiful Chinese train, which is advertising some type of, what is it? Nianfenyu Jiang. And what I find interesting is that you would think that if you travel to China, everything is going to be very strict in a way. Everything is going to be extremely law-abiding. And I'm sure, like, in most countries, if you're going to walk too close to the train, they're going to whistle you off like crazy. Here, the train is passing out. It's kind of like interesting. So, how can we get up? There's a crowd walking. Another train is passing in, but it looks a bit older than the one we were driving on just now. So there he goes. And gone he is. Okay, so no idea if there is another way to go up, because this seems to be the way down. Doesn't have a whistle. Have you seen it? It's electronic. It's electronic noise. They're living in the future, I'm telling you. Now, I mean, honestly, like, not to like overhype it, like, oh my god, such a nice train, da 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 da. It's a very good train considering the value, I would say. Again, you always have to keep in mind like the average income of the people taking it. Adjusted for that is probably similar to most places, but the fact stations are very clean, everything is very well ordered, but it doesn't seem like over micromanaged like in some other countries. And we got another kind of like Soviet looking train. Ooh, let's get out of here. And on that note, now that it's a little bit quieter here, I would say overall very convenient, even though last minute hustle for me, because I'm always a little bit tight, but I never miss anything. That's my track record so far. I think there's one thing in my life that I've ever missed. And Suzhou. So how is the real China? Something that I'm hopefully gonna find out today. So I've spent quite a couple of days in Shanghai. Crazy city, the dimensions, the architecture, the crazy skyscrapers, but also the history. And I have to tell you, in many ways, it's very international. So I thought, hey, let's take a train out. So this morning took a train out of Shanghai and we are in the city of Suzhou. And as you see behind me, that's much more like it. So very kind of like, I mean, if I would be like in any Eastern European country, I would say like Soviet style, but here, let's say communist style. Train station behind me. I just arrived. Here we have some new developments, some type of, maybe somebody can tell me what that means here. And I have to tell you one thing, the volume of people's conversation on the phone, like this guy in the back. Seriously. So for today, the city of Suzhou, from what I understand, it has a old town with the canal. I think the Mission Impossible movie was filmed there. And in many ways, it feels quite a bit different already than Shanghai. Pretty much nobody speaks a single word of English. There's no English signs. I do see the metro. So I think with the metro, a couple stations, we can first check out the old town. And then I also know by the lake, there's some new developments, some crazy skyscrapers. Like most big Chinese cities, they go crazy with their, let's say, creative buildings. And I'm quite excited to, yeah, see a little bit of both sides today. I have one day here to spend. For today, towards sunset, let's go see the old part. Might be very touristy as well. I mean, like, it's not like it's just some city. Suzhou definitely is a big city by itself. The train right here actually was quite nice. You can check that out. I think most likely there's a full video about it. But yeah, let's see if we can figure it out. Just finding my hotel earlier here by the train station was an adventure. It took me a while. And yeah, over here is the metro. Google Maps doesn't give you any navigation, but on the map you kind of can see the metro line, so we'll figure something out. So let's see, they do have this little English button here. And what is my station? Sorry, do you know this one? Like,
Shanghai. Let me see. Oh, Chili
Shanghai.
One people. Use cash or
cash. Okay, sure. Okay, let's remember this. Shantanji. So, brother helped me out. I just showed them a picture on Google Maps of the place I'm going to, Shantanji. Now we just need to figure out the direction, and then we should get there. So nice station overall, but the vibe is different, you know. Some people sit on the ground, people smoke a cigarette everywhere. It's pretty chill actually, you know. Taken the metro out of the airport once here in Shanghai. Looks pretty similar. Extra busy, I would say. I need to learn the word like sorry. Don't want to yell at people in my English here. We're here. It's one station. I think it's a half an hour walk. Nice. So we are right now on Shangtangji Road, and it looks nothing like Shanghai. I'm sure they have more local neighborhoods there as well, but wow, what a vibe. So first of all, you got these like old vans, like a little bit of a parking lot, and here that's always interesting when, you know, people doing similar things, but there's a huge line in front of one of them, the other one's not so much. And the older people here are just a vibe with a cigarette. Just so, food looks absolutely delicious. So I think they're selling, it's like a market, they're selling both raw as well as kind of like restaurant style. Got some buns here. The man is having fresh fish. Yeah. Hello. So let's see, there's supposed to be kind of like a canal flowing through here, a couple of bridges. But just to wander in here for a second, it's actually like a really nice market. I like how they have everything super nice and neat. This man is selling tomatoes in all the colors imaginable. And honestly, the quality of the products look amazing. So I don't know what they pump these beans with, but whatever it is, it must be working. So vegetable, fruits, and reminds me a lot of markets in Eastern Europe. Maybe a little bit more organized, but looks like a market in Odessa in many ways. Oh, and the smell of fresh vegetables, amazing. Oh shit, seriously, fuck. The dude almost got hit. Okay, it does not quite work like a zebra. Ah, it does. So this is kind of like the traditional old town. Oh, we made it. Honestly, a bit more tricky than in some other countries. Okay, interesting. So we have the old part right here. In the back we're seeing some skyscrapers, like I know it from some other Chinese cities. Some dessert on the street. And I think this is where the tourism begins. But seriously, all the fruits that they're selling is just amazing. So this is the Shanghai Road. Lots of old-timers. I think the domestic tourism, once you retire, it goes hard in this country, but yeah, very much so also developed, I would say, as a tourist spot. Very cozy, very sweet, really busy. I was kind of like, when I saw it on the internet, I thought that's what it might be. Still all in Suzhou, haven't seen a non-local, and the energy overall is quite nice, like very chill, almost like a Sunday market. I think today is Wednesday. So basically some people dress up in like traditional clothes, some food stalls, and I think this place has been around really for a long time. You can get like nice soups here for a couple of dollars too, for the most part. Actually, we might do that right now. So here they're having fruits again. Seriously, Suzhou so far is the fruit and vegetable city for me. And yeah, looks like people come here during the week just to enjoy, just to hang out. But the cool part about it is that it's pretty much has been around for hundreds of years. These little houses. I'm actually curious where the lake is. There's supposed to be a lake. And I'm like wondering all the time, are those real fruits? And I think they are actually. Yes, they are. Never seen those before. Hello. She's probably thinking the same, looking at me. What's what? Have you seen those before? The guy with the camera. Hello. So I would say let's check this one out here. Yeah. Alright, I would say let's go easy right now. No? No? Okay. Okay. So we got some kind of soup, dumplings. I feel like that's all I'm eating in China. Just to go safe. I tried some like more... It's okay? She didn't seem excited. But the young people are excited though. They probably don't understand a single word, which is quite funny. Alright, bye-bye. So I know a couple of words. Maybe she is excited. You know, there was a time I learned quite a couple of Chinese words, but most of them are not very appropriate, so I need to hold myself back. But the broth they do here is amazing. Quick fill up, and let's explore. So basically here's the canal. You got the old houses on the side, and yeah, looks like there's a boat passing through, even almost like public transport. Looks like, reminds me a little bit of Bangkok, but it might be tourism as well. Nobody waves me back, but everyone's looking though. So let's see what is behind here. It's like a daily thing, the dressing up, or if it's a special occasion right now. But generally it feels really cool just to be inside of it, kind of feeling like all the locals are very excited, and there's no foreign tourism here right now, at least. within hours and hours of walking around the city so far. So we finally got onto kind of like the sidewalk. I think around here they filmed the Mission Impossible 3 where he's running like crazy, but that's a Tom Cruise thing. He's running in every Mission Impossible like that, but we're close to Shanghai. It's like maybe 2-hour drive, half an hour on the train. So I think actually the population of this town, or the city, millions of people, is still counted to Shanghai, which makes kind of like Shanghai the biggest metropolitan urban area. And yeah, super cute, super cozy, in some ways a little bit with the canal, kind of like Chinese Amsterdam vibes, but in some ways even nicer. What I like about it is actually that here it's fairly quiet. Like, it's almost like people keep their tone down, because in most public places it's much louder. Coffee and whiskey bar here. All right, I've seen the first 2 dudes from somewhere closer to my world, but I love these costumes, I gotta say. So many people are, wish I could ask. So getting the perfect shot for red, for Xiaohongshu. I wish you could smell this right now, guys. The way they cook pork around here is unbeatable. So a little bit hard to walk. Actually just looked it up. So Suzhou itself has 10 million people, higher than some country's population. And some of these bridges actually, they date back to the 1600s. So that is why this place is so famous. This is not just like set up or something. Historically, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, these bridges exactly have been here already. And perhaps they used to dress like that, but that is maybe something one of you guys know. So you have these boats passing through, and on both sides the houses. So let's see how far we can get. And it's actually a fairly large neighborhood. The road itself is like kilometers, definitely, for sure. So the walkway ends here. Let's go there. It seems a bit quieter. Basically, the little Old Town area is ending around here. The river is kind of like flowing like this, and yeah, that's actually what I noticed. It's quite crazy also in Shanghai, that during the week in the evenings it often feels like weekend. Ni hao. Ni hao. No, it's good, it's good. I'll walk. I feel like everybody leaves me hanging here. So we're seeing actually the modern city in the backdrop right now. It's gonna be dark soon, but also I want to see the extra modern side. So perhaps we're gonna catch some transportation right now and gonna make our way over there, because this is in many ways so old that it becomes iconic. Like, such a cool place they made out of it. Definitely recommend it if you're in the area. It is super touristy, it is super flashy, but because it's pretty much like 99% local, it's really cool. So guys, not sure how much and how to buy it. Ni hao.
Do you want
Lamb?
羊肉 sheep?
Sheep, perfect. How much is it?
Small one, 18.
One, yes. Can do cash? Okay, so we have some sheep. It smells amazing. It's 18. It's like a little bit over $2. That's really good. Like, globally speaking, you know, I always compare it to not just Asian countries, but especially, obviously. Okay, shishi. Spicy or?
Spicy, this one. Little.
Like this, also good? Also good, tasty?
加一点点 Little.
Little, yeah, there's a little. Because I want to maintain the flavor of the sheep. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, little. It's good. Give it to me the Chinese way. Yeah. 谢谢. Nice guy, good energy. Everybody's a bit shy, you know. Maybe it's my energy. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I call a snack. The spices taste like hell, very spicy, but you still taste the sheep, so I like it. Like generally I like to keep it very like basic, just a little bit of salt, but give it to me the way you give it to everybody. Wow. Very soft, really nice barbecue. And here, finally, I haven't seen it in Shanghai yet. Chinese style, people just by the street. Hello. They look at the camera until I look and then they look away. Honestly, it's discreet and I prefer that. You're like, it's quite easy actually to film in China in the sense that people are curious, but it's very easy actually. So, some poor people, some singers. I think he's doing a live right now. Yep. He's doing a live. Okay, that is actually pretty cool. Walking out of this old town, we're literally walking into a local neighborhood. Just seeing 7-Eleven, some banks, still some street artists, but I think this is normal neighborhood, which I'm quite excited to see. This looks like some charity. Things on the side of the street, street food, hot dogs, snails. I like it. I like it very much. So this is perhaps the first right now. I just saw a toilet in a metro station and it looked nice. Very human. Seriously, it's like one of those biggest problems. You're going to the metro and you don't know if you're gonna survive. First time in the world. I'm sure it exists, but the first time I'm seeing it. And so we have arrived in time for a pretty beautiful sunset actually. And we are, what the hell? At the Gates of the Orient, I think that building is called. And basically it's a huge building. Let's change the lens. Okay, that works better now I think. So basically I think if we're gonna walk away a bit further, you're gonna see it better. But it's a humongous structure. I'm just starting to see it myself right now. Wow, it's gonna light up, it's probably gonna be amazing. And that is the crazy thing about China. There are so many different cities with what in any other country would be an iconic skyline, whereas here it's just like regionally, I'm sure this is a legend, but there's so many different developments which I find quite impressive. So basically here we're standing right in front of it, people taking pictures. It's basically two buildings and then they're arched on top and connected, and on the bottom there's kind of like a mall, and there's also a really cool looking park over there. I'm just wondering how to get there. So I have made it to the other side to get a bit of a better view, and I have to tell you, this is exactly kind of what I was hoping for when I was looking up the different locations, just to really see it and feel it, that so many Chinese cities, they have this huge contrast. On the one side they have maybe like obviously a lot of local neighborhoods, kind of like the vegetable market we just wandered into, but then at the same time they have these crazy development that in most other parts of the world, like I mentioned before, everybody would hear and know about it, but in China it's just another Monday. Like again, not to downplay this, I'm sure it's a legendary in this area and very famous for everybody who is from around here and knows the way around. But seriously, I'm a big architecture fan, and this is really cool. I think it's when I looked it up, it said it's the second tallest building in Suzhou, so there's actually a taller one. It's not like super high, just the aesthetics of it, the lights. And another thing about this city, actually a lot of the accommodation when I was checking where to stay was by the lake, but it took me a minute to get here. Seriously, I would like to get a taxi back, but wow, I just got around the corner. So there's a lake. Look at that. There is a huge lake in the back there. Some type of little island, perfectly lush, full of trees. And then there is also a Ferris wheel. Something is lit up. And like most cities in China, just so many housing developments. I mean, you gotta keep 11 million people somewhere. And that is kind of what you see all around there. But I have to tell you, this skyline, especially, yeah, there you go, perfect. The building is coming out. So yeah, Suzhou, for me, a day trip for the most part. I am very happy that I did it. On the one side, it does feel more Chinese than Shanghai. Just a bit more chill in some ways. Not necessarily the tourist area, but even that. And at the same time, really interesting. A city that most people in the world haven't really heard about, even though it's a huge metropolis. And I'm sure like all the big brands, all the huge banks, and just this building there. There's like a humongous tower. That is probably the tallest one. So we're filming right now, but the wide angle is going to be hard for you to see, but this one basically. I'm gonna get the other camera out in a second. And yeah, big photo culture, definitely everywhere. Everyone that's coming out wants to get the perfect shot with this epic building, the Gates of the Orient. And I think today's video gave you a little bit of a good idea how, let's say, most large cities in China look. Like any city that you hear the name of, they always have like some type of crazy development. And yeah, from here I'm seeing like Crown Plaza, a W Hotel with this view is probably amazing. And I think for today I'm gonna head back. I got like a hotel closer to the train station for tomorrow. I'm heading back to Shanghai for another couple days. I think I'll take you along on that, but generally I really enjoyed today, just from the perspective of, for me, it's always interesting to see a bit more the regular life in a big city that is not just like, let's say, I have never seen this skyline before researching cities to go next to Shanghai. If you have been around here, if you have any recommendations, I was actually thinking to go to Nanjing as well. We'll still consider, time is a little bit tight. But yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the sunset here right now and see you tomorrow morning from the train station. Actually, I took first class coming here. I just wanted to check it out. It was really cool. I filmed a video about that. And I think on the way back, we're gonna take the regular train. So I'll take you along on the road. I'm back to Shanghai. If you're planning to come to Shanghai, we'll see how it's done. But for, yeah. But also I would say while we are here, let's check out this mall. It's really futuristic in many ways. So I don't know if I've ever seen like such a, maybe it's an office building as well, because it's like such a grand entrance without anything really going on. I think the mall is on the right side. So this is right behind the gates, this building there. And I think there is more city, probably residential developments as it looks like. So yeah, let's see what is going on in this mall. Probably nothing too crazy. I think just this entrance is really nice. Kind of have this arrows. Seriously, I love like, I think Singapore was one of the first that did it back in the day. Like this architecture that is all wavy yet very modern. It's kind of like nice. So walking in, I guess nothing too crazy. Just a nice, fairly modern mall. The usual stuff that you have in every mall. And I've mentioned it before in previous videos. Here the same again. Feels super chill in terms of like security or anything. You just go in anywhere. Like police is maybe in some corners, but generally for the most part, I feel very chill, be it filming anywhere, be it walking anywhere, people flying drones everywhere. Didn't bring mine, unfortunately. Left it in Shanghai, stored it in a hotel. So yeah, basically, like I said, for the most part, just a nice mall. People going about their Thursday business today. Couple of floors looks like. So basically, yep, like 3, 4, 5 floors, something like that. Woo. Let's go out, let's get a better view. Well, good morning right now from the Suzhou train station. So fairly, let's say, busy around 12. I'm taking the train back right now to Shanghai. So on the way here, like I said, I wanted to check out kind of like whatever the most expensive ticket, which is only like 30 bucks for like, because it's a 30-minute drive. Right now we're gonna take the regular train, a man of the people. And yeah, this train station actually at first in Shanghai was a bit hard to figure out, to get around, but now I almost understand it. I think I found it. And booking the ticket online and then just checking in with your passport basically. So there's like a bookstore, which is interesting to see what they're selling. Usually in train stations and airports, like the best sellers, you know. Here is just, I don't know, a couple of books. So the train station itself, like you see, looks almost more like an airport. Absolutely humongous, many platforms. So let's see, should be like half an hour to get to Shanghai. So about 30 minutes later, we're back in Shanghai. Feels good to be back. Nice little trip to Suzhou, really enjoyed it. I think it was a nice change of vibe, energy paced. Overall, in some ways it felt a bit more laid back. Yeah, another couple days in Shanghai, let's get to the city. Seriously, these trains are, so this regular class was like I think $5 or something, so pretty good. And so, finally, fully back in Shanghai for another couple of days of adventure. So today, guys, we are in an absolutely legendary place. I'm right now at the Bund in Shanghai. We're seeing the skyline right behind me. And right now, we are on the way. We're all packed up. Just came out here to take it in for a second, but we're gonna be taking it in very differently. So right behind me is one of the most legendary hotels in Shanghai, right there. And I don't really know what to expect. I know the views are gonna be incredible. The history of this hotel, it has been around for a very long time. There is a museum inside of it. A lot, let's say it like that. This place is a legend. You see it by the people just standing in front of it. Everybody looks at it. And let's just walk over there. 1-2 minutes basically from this place. And I want to take you along on the full experience from checking in to the room to all the different areas of the hotel and see how, let's say, old luxury in Shanghai looks like. Join me. So here we basically are. It's right at the waterfront, first building in line. That's why I kind of just arrived there a little bit at the waterfront, and yeah, very excited. So let's go in, I would say. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Check in, yes.
Welcome to PC Hotel.
Thank you. Look at that. Ooh. So reminds me a little bit of an old hotel I stayed in Budapest. Very old charm, flair. first time ever walking in here. Been for already like a couple days in Shanghai. Ooh, so they have their own museum. Wow, now that is one crazy lobby. The roof is glassed. Really excited to hear for how long this has been around because you feel. Perfect. Hello. Yes, please.
Have a nice day and then enjoy stay.
Thank you, thank you.
Daily breakfast start from 7 to 10:30.
Okay.
You can either choose the nice breakfast.
I think I have not taken my little lounge paper, but
I will deliver again to your So you stay with us in this Italian suite this time. Okay, Italian suite will be very European style.
Okay.
And many of the celebrities stayed in this suite.
oh wow. Any names you can name?
Wow, actually.
Or is it confidential?
We have two lists. One is confidential and one is open to the public. And
So
you
the
can
confidential one is the one that did the wild parties nobody can know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. For the confidential, we signed a contract. We cannot tell.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So any names that are public?
Actually, yes. So in every Nine Nation suite, in the front of the door, we have a board.
Okay.
So all the celebrities who ever stayed in the suites will be listed here.
Okay, so this is where you're gonna put my name right next to it, huh?
Yes.
Okay, but let's see.
More like political
Yeah,
celebrities.
makes sense.
Obama was here? Yes.
Uh-huh.
Like Obama was here. And actually, you are in the 6th floor, and this is the Italian suite.
Mm-hmm.
And sixth. Welcome to the Italian suite.
Wow.
And here's your living room, and we hide the TV inside of the closet because we don't want the technology to ruin the atmosphere in this room.
Okay.
So you have the Bund view of the Shanghai Bund, almost 100 years history, and also here in Luzhou skyline and the Huangpu River. This is your dining room. So for those guests who want more privacy, they will order their meal and they will have the dinner or lunch in here.
This is absolutely incredible, guys. So I've already knew that this hotel is a legend. Just walking by, people in front of it, they take photos. Just posted something on Instagram. Some people I know, they reach out to me. They're like, hey, this is the hotel where they shot this movie, da-da-da. So a lot of presidents stayed here. I knew that Charlie Chaplin stayed here. If you look up the hotel, that's one of the first things you read about. So this place has been here since 1929, and I'm sure we're gonna find out a lot more. Once we're gonna get a little tour, they have a private museum with daily tours. Wow. So this is one of the 9 Nations suite. So in one of them, Obama stayed, in another one, Muhammad Ali, the Clintons, whatever it may be. And yeah, it's quite surreal. So next to Chaplin, this has been the go-to spot, the hotel, the legend of Shanghai. And to give you a little quick tour of the room they're hosting me in here right now. So this is the Italian 9 Nation suite. They have the French, the Japanese, the Chinese, the American ones. And this is basically the living area. Walking in, the guy mentioned that some people like to have like private dinners here, one extra bathroom, and the living area. So even though obviously since 1929, the hotel is absolutely flawless. The room is flawless. There's absolutely everything is extremely well maintained. So nice little desk, or actually fairly large one to be fair. And walking through, this is the super cozy bedroom, a little bit angled, the whole room. The view I'm gonna show you in a second, but yeah, what can you say? Humongous bed, and overall this old luxury charm, the flair of it, absolutely amazing. I'm blown away, quite excited overall. Bathroom, huge, marble everywhere, 2 sinks, nice bathtub, shower, and the private room. Oop. Quite interesting that, so from what I understand is all the Nine Nations suites there are obviously a bit different. This is Italian inspired. Really curious how the other ones look. From the photos I saw online, very different, as you can imagine, the Chinese. And to give you an idea of the view, prime Shanghai, basically. Let's just lean out here for a second. We're overlooking pretty much the most iconic view of Shanghai. We're seeing the second tallest tower in the world, the tallest building in China. And I would say to understand this place a little bit more, for how long it has been around, what the history of it is, well, if they have a private museum, there's no better way to find out. So let's go. And the roof, that was one of the biggest reasons why I was extremely excited about it. There is a roof overlooking this view, so stick around. And the price of this place, let me tell you, let me calculate. 13,000 yuan. So the regular rooms here at the hotel, prime location, one of the best in the whole city, in one of the biggest cities in the world, one of the most famous ones, start at $200, the basic rooms. This room, the Nine Nation Suites, $2,000 a night. So let's find out what the experience here can be. Let's go. Hello.
Corridor, and on both sides we are showcasing many of the movies and films that have been filmed here. So we even have this one was actually a very old advertisement back in the 1930s. It's a very old one.
For the hotel when it was operating as a hotel, 1930s, yeah? Wow.
And then the hotel first opened as named as Cafe Hotel. Cafe is more like Chinese, China now. But then in 1952, we changed it to Peace Hotel.
So guys, this place is basically one big palace. We're here in the lobby right now. You probably hear the echo. So this building, I think I mentioned before, is around since 1929. And this lobby has pretty much not been changed. It used to be a mall, then this used to be a government building. So I just got a little tour, I got a little bit of a history background, and it's fascinating. So here in the evenings is the oldest jazz band in the world. We're gonna check it out maybe tomorrow. So here they made a movie about it, and just generally a lot of history, a lot of movies have been shot here. Like mentioned before, so many different famous people have stayed here, and for decades this is kind of like the spot in Shanghai, especially in the old days when the city didn't look nothing like it does now in terms of the skyscraper, the modernity. Back then there used to be pretty much the Bund with the old buildings that you have seen so far, and that has been Shanghai. Now it's obviously second tallest tower in the world, whatever, the tallest tower in China, but those are all developments of the last couple of decades. And this is developments of the last 100 years. So pretty much the lobby, there's a couple of entrances. One is from the pedestrian pathway, another one from the other side with the car. I think overall they have like 12 floors or something like that. And yeah, just to give you an idea, if we walk out of here, super pumped. Just got a little bit of a tour of the balcony. The views are incredible. And here's a nice little cafe. And if we just walk out, you get the idea. This place is a legend. The moment we walk out, we're pretty much on one of the main shopping streets in all of Shanghai. So obviously the location is incredible. And yeah, I think for the next 2 days, pretty much, not gonna be leaving much because there's a lot of things to do. I definitely also want to give you a full tour of all the different facilities while we're at it. Later gonna have dinner on the rooftop. Seriously. Once I've stayed at a hotel in Budapest that had a similar history, like going through World War II. I mean, obviously here, very different. That was with the Japanese during World War II. The hotel didn't operate anymore. Then it used to be a government building, and thank you.
Hello, morning.
And here we are back again. So this is basically where we earlier checked in, and there's a really nice, a little bit spicy flavor in the air, the fragrance. So here's their in-house museum. Seriously, just walking up these stairs. Wow. So here you see how it used to look here. Let's see what's going on here. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
This is a hotel museum.
So what can I find here?
You are interested?
Yeah, just take a look around, learn something about the history.
Yeah, stay here with us.
Yes.
Yeah, actually 3 o'clock we have English hotel tour.
Okay.
And we'll show you about hotel history.
3 o'clock. So
Yeah.
already over or?
Already over?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow.
So, okay.
Where's Charlie Chaplin? Is that him?
Here? You heard about him?
Yeah.
Staying here 1936.
They're 36, yeah? Wow. Muhammad Ali was here.
Yes.
When was he here?
This is
No.
the actually it's our Austrian band leader.
And so guys, one of the most epic balconies of all time. We're here on the 9th floor. And look at that. So they're opening at 5 p.m. in a couple of minutes. As of right now, nobody really here. The view is, what can you say? You're seeing it all from here, basically. This side, the older buildings. And then this crazy futuristic part right in front of us. I'm filming wide angle right now. I'm gonna show you some shots from the camera because it's actually really close to you. Like you're standing here and it's just straight into your face. So I have to say, probably one of the best rooftop views in the world in Shanghai, for sure. No doubt about it. Guys, for the evening hours, this must be one of the craziest dinner setups. So we are on the 8th floor in the French restaurant, and what can I say? Not every time. So they have a couple of balconies. One is on the side I showed you earlier. This little balcony, they have one table here. On the other side is another one, and the view is absolutely breathtaking. So from what I've heard is they have a Michelin star chef here, and it's a set menu. So I'm super excited for what it's gonna be, but whatever it might be, with this view, we're gonna be good. So I mentioned in a previous video before, when I just arrived at Hong Kong, so far was one of my top 3 probably city skylines. Of course, together with New York. I'm not the biggest fan of New York, but the skyline, you can't argue it, is one of a kind. But this might be number 2. If not even 1, just because in Hong Kong, super impressive, but you have the river, which is fairly far away. Like you can check out my Hong Kong video. Here, all the lights and the river, it looks like you can almost swim it. Probably not. I wouldn't recommend it with all these big ships. But yeah, truly a breathtaking location. So they just told me that this is the only restaurant on the whole Bund, on this whole street, that actually has a balconies that directly face the view unobstructed, and yeah, I can tell it's special. Amazing view.
Amazing view, amazing city, amazing people, a beautiful restaurant manager. I mean, what else?
Beautiful food, as I see.
Thank you very much. We try.
So this is the second dish, which is a pink velouté. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Well, I started 15 when I was 15 years old. So it's been like 15 years old. A long time.
What about in Shanghai also for a long
Shanghai,
time?
no, only since 8 months.
Okay.
Brand new in Shanghai, brand new in China.
Right.
And I like it. Very nice. It's really good.
Everybody else I talked to has been here for many, many years. So.
Yes, I know. I mean, I met some few people like 10, 12, 14, 15 years. I'm like, wow, amazing master.
What about you? Where have you been before?
I was in Vietnam.
Oh, okay. So it's
quite pleasant. I saw that you were also in Vietnam before.
Long time ago, yeah. Mostly Thai, more Thai. I've been like living in Thailand for a couple of years. Yeah. All right, very excited.
Thank you.
What is the name?
This is a pea soup. Pea soup with carabineros, smoked hill, and we have also a little bit of cheese with it to bring some contrast on the dish.
All right, very excited. Thank you.
Enjoy.
In many ways, super amazing dinner, especially the fish, the steak, fresh cuisine, really cool chef, and all of that overlooking here. So at the end of the day, there's also this bar. Basically in the back, you can also come down here, have a couple of, have a couple of drinks. Cleared up, we got up on the roof here, and what a roof it is. So this is on top of the Gold Lounge. They told me that usually this is like reserved for events, but if you kind of get a room with the lounge access, you can ask potentially to go up here. Right now they're having some type of a wedding little shooting in the corner, but wow, what a event space it is. Seriously, this is like straight out of a movie. And just thinking that this hotel, this used to be like one of the first kind of like places, all the head of state, all the celebrities back in the day. When you come to Shanghai, this is the place that you go to. So almost 100 years of history pretty much. And just thinking that Shanghai has been a major hub for the longest time. Before the Second World War, like during that time, actually the hotel was closed. Like it changed the different like purposes that it had, but it actually started pretty much like a hotel. And yeah, just being up here with this view, it's actually also crazy to think that this whole skyline, it wasn't really there. Like they told me that first they built the TV tower, then they built everything else, but all of that came in the last couple of decades. Before that it was just flat land, and this was kind of like the modern side 50 to 100 years ago pretty much. This is where most of the development has been and still is, honestly. So in all directions, absolutely amazing view. So like I said, looks like they're shooting some type of wedding here, and just we're gonna shoot a little bit something here as well. I would say as much as nice as the view from just up here is, let me take you a bit higher. So as of right now for lunch, I would say we are in Shanghai. We're in China. As nice as the view was yesterday, let's get some lunch at their Chinese restaurant, which looks really different. Very, very, let's say, visual. Let's say it like that. I'm excited for the food. So it's on the 8th floor, one lower than we were yesterday. Oh. Dragon Phoenix Restaurant. Hello. So looks like busy, popular. Lots of people here. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'll sit here. It's good. So here we are at the Dragon Phoenix. As you can tell by the ambient Shanghai, it's like, you know, when you're on YouTube and you're like, busy Shanghai restaurant. And honestly, I think it's mostly actually people from outside, so very, very popular place. And looks like It's only locals, so the food must be good. So, the Dragon Phoenix, here's the menu. We got it both in Mandarin as well as in English. Here we got the chef. And yeah, let's ask for some recommendations and let's dive in. That's how they serve the tea, very, let's say, how would you call that? Fine dining tea. I've never had such a small cup, I think. It's nice.
When you drink Chinese.
Sorry?
You take small sips.
Small sips. Okay. Pretty good.
Like it?
Wow, wow, wow. So we got dry ice.
The Chinese vegetable, and that's a very special spring vegetable, and you can only have it in spring.
This one, yeah?
Yeah, this one. And then dumpling skin is also mixed with the juice from this vegetable. That's why it makes it a little creamy. And this one is actually the dish that's served in a national catering.
Sorry?
At the national catering, this fish.
Very good.
It's crispy, a little sweet, and sweetness is actually the highlight of the Shanghainese food.
So what is this?
This one, I don't know how to call it. It's similar like Thai curry, but it's a little different. But it's the roots veggie.
I eat it with the...
Put it in the cup. The flour, the dressing on top of it, so it's different flavor. So this one is sweet and sour. This one is fried one.
So what is this we got here?
It's a Chinese bun.
Is it a baozi or like fried baozi? Shangjingbao? Shangjingbao. Okay. Here we got some fried fish. So back out here on the roof, and what I really see is that a lot of people come up here just for like afternoon tea, some drinks. So this bar opens at 5, and then they also have afternoon tea. In the back, I think, is open most of the day, and you see some people just come up here to chill. And what a place. I see myself already years from now coming back to Shanghai and definitely coming up to feel out this legend again a little bit. The evening, I have to tell you, I passed by their gym, their spa, oops, sorry, and just the way that it looks, the ambience, you know, like some hotels, they have like a good hotel gyms, big hotel gyms, but this one is like a little maze, so there's really nice hallways, there's a nice indoor pool, and they said you should check out the spa, so I'm like, maybe I should. So that's what we're gonna do right now. It's called the Willow Stream. And like I said, considering, like seriously, like a freaking palace. Like seriously, in this hotel, it's very easy.
Okay.
Hello.
Which floor staying here?
I stay in the Italian room.
Okay, Italian room?
Italian.
Italian room, okay. The 7th floor, no.
It's on the 6th floor.
Yeah, 6th floor.
I know,
okay.
thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. Maybe he heard that I'm lost. So, this is the entrance, Willow Stream. Look at that. Hello. For the spa, 7 p.m.
Yeah, your name is
Danny.
Danny. Oh, nice to see you. So you have appointment for now just 1 hour?
Yeah.
Okay. Oil massage? Just oil massage or?
I don't know what I can choose, or do I sign in something?
No need that. Just because they make appointment for you, just 1 hour. You want oil massage or Chinese massage?
What is like more stronger, like deep tissue, stronger?
Same. Also, if you want strong, I can do strong for you.
What do you recommend, Chinese massage or oil massage?
Oh, up to you. Maybe oil massage more confident.
I want
like strong.
Yeah, whatever is stronger, whatever is better for.
You want to take a photo?
Yeah, I'm taking like a little video. It's okay.
I think make it nice.
Looks very nice here. as you see, is like at the end of the hallway. Wow.
Okay.
Put down my bag here.
You want a shower before
Shower
treatment?
would be good, yeah.
Okay, please.
Alright. Tea.
Vitality and purification.
Relaxation, vitality, or purification? Let's do purification.
Purification for detox.
Yes, for to relieve me of my sins. For how long have you been doing massage?
For my
How many years?
15 years.
15?
Yes.
Wow. You're from Shanghai or different cities?
I'm from Wuhan.
Wuhan, okay. Everybody knows Wuhan.
You've been to Wuhan?
No, I have not been.
I think you love Wuhan.
Yeah?
You love Wuhan city, do you know?
Do you think I'll like it?
I think you will like. Okay, we start now. Please follow me 3 deep breaths. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, out. Sorry?
Maybe you can pass me the camera. I'll turn off.
How to?
You can just pass. You can just
Here.
give it to me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Have a good night.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hello.
Hello, good
Should I
evening.
have a reservation for tonight?
Okay, I'll stay.
Daniel?
Mẹ này anh em.
Daniel. Coming out right now out of the jazz bar. Inside is probably a little bit too loud to film, but let's say it like that. This place is not only Shanghai famous, it's actually world famous for the fact that they have the oldest, I think they have the world record in like 2005 or something, the oldest jazz band in the world. Like the average age is 84 or something. I mean, still young compared to some US presidents, but honestly, super cool. The vibe there just takes you back in time. It's like you're sitting there in the 20s and the 30s, Shanghai, high society. Everything is super old school. The whole kind of like setup of the bar. Super nice vibe. I think you have to get reservations early because there's like people like standing in front of it trying to peek in. Once again, especially I think in China, this hotel is an absolute legend. In the lobby, there's always somebody going crazy with photos. And yeah. Right? Yeah. And towards the end of the day, came up to the rooftop proper. Look at that. Just look at that. Ooh. So basically, it's a very similar view that you get from the terrace. It's just up here. Seriously, we're pretty freaking high. We're one of the highest buildings, I would say, on the Bund, at least in this area in particular. So looking down on a couple of the other rooftop restaurants, and like I mentioned it before, just because the river is fairly narrow, the skyline and the light show pretty much every single night it looks like that. Starting from like 7 p.m. when it gets dark, all the buildings go crazy. So enjoy. So good morning, kicking off the day here. So there's I think 2 places right now I could be having breakfast. So upstairs there's the lounge, but usually lounge breakfast is small, quiet, is nice for like some more privacy, I guess. But if they say they have their old restaurant with a big breakfast, we gotta see what that's about. So let's go there. It should be right here, I think. Yeah. Let's see. This place basically looks like a music hall at the end of the day. Very cozy, dimmed light, busy, obviously. It's kind of like, I would say maybe 5 to 10% international right now. I think during the season probably more. Let's take a look what they're having here. So, fruit bar, that's a nice salmon, more fruits. Looks like here they're making some Chinese dessert. Savory trap, okay. Actually it's savory, so it's not necessarily... Oh, wow, a honeycomb. That's so nice. So, stir-fried beef, oyster sauce. That's
Noodle, rice noodle, dumplings.
I'll take a little bit.
Nice.
A little bit, yeah. And dumplings, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. 早上好，请问你需要什么？
这个。
河粉刚刚点过的吗？
And so it has been good 2 days here at the Fairmont Castle. Honestly, what a place. Like seriously, just arrived in Shanghai. I'm not long here, like a week, and just being in the new city, seeing a new skyline, kind of like unlocking a new mental map and doing it in such a way that takes you back to the 1920s, 30s, when this already has been like one of the places. It's crazy to think that all these people over the years have been here. You really feel the DNA of that place. And I would say one of the biggest things about it is just the fact that even though it is almost 100 years old, the service, the amenities, the views, like I was surprised how the spa looks, how the gym looks. Like it's pretty much, as you can imagine, it has been all renewed, so it's absolutely up to standard. But I would say that's not necessarily what this place is all about. It's much more about kind of like the old charm, and at the same time how they also maintained things like the lobby, things like the everything that has been around here for a long time. And I would say definitely this goes down as one of the favorite places and experiences that I have covered. I have personally not yet seen all the shots that I've been taking. It has been a little bit fast-paced, but I've been also trying to really create some magic here also for like little short videos for Instagram, so you can join me on there. This is also the best way to connect with me, to see where I am right now. And if you're new here by any chance, here on the channel I document my life around the idea of building a life of freedom around the world. And a big part of it is also looking for the most special places, the most unique places. Be it just a nice view, just a place by the beach, or maybe something small, something secluded, or something with, in this case, a history of almost 100 years. Through wars, through occupations, through all kinds of different things, this building has been around. What a legend. So as we're leaving China, I want to share with you my honest opinion on how it felt like being on the ground in Shanghai and some of the surrounding cities. And some people have fears coming to China. They don't know what to expect. So today I want to share with you my experience. But the reality is some websites, like for example YouTube, are blocked. If you would be there, you could not be watching this right now without a VPN. In my opinion, one of the most essential tools to have while traveling. And this is where today's video sponsor, PIA, Private Internet Access, comes in. You see, especially while traveling, let's say you're sitting in a cafe in the airport, you're accessing the internet, and the reality is your data is not safe. So a virtual private network, or VPN for short, hides your IP address and safeguards your connection through an encrypted tunnel. It's a great tool to log in from anywhere in the world. So with over 84 different servers in different countries, you can just kind of pretend like you're logging in from the US or from anywhere in Asia. And the best part about PIA is just how easy it is to use it. You open it up, you choose the location, one click, and you're connected. It's very easy. Using PIA can also help you to save money. If you change your geolocation, all of a sudden you might see that the flights have a different price. Also, when booking hotels, if you change your location, you often can find a better deal. With my link, you can get 83% off and another 4 extra months on top. So I think that brings down the subscription to something like $2.03 a month. an absolute essential tool when traveling, especially to some of the more restricted parts of this world. First link in the description. Today is the day. We're leaving China. To be fair, tomorrow morning. But in today's video, I want to share with you my thoughts after spending a little bit over a week in Shanghai, also going a little bit outside to some of the neighboring cities. And I have to tell you one thing, I definitely thought I would be impressed. And I was. Just the architecture, like right now we are on the Pudong side, basically where the business district is, where the third tallest tower in the world is. And if you have watched the previous videos, I did a little series basically covering Shanghai, different districts. And what I have to say is that I was not just surprised by perhaps how modern the city is, but actually by how in many ways I also felt really comfortable. In some ways maybe it's even livable. They have so many different districts, from the super new, the super modern, to old districts. Shanghai has a pretty long history. Sometimes part of the city were kind of like, perhaps you could say, I think they called it concessions back in the day. And really, especially the other side of the water, some of the buildings have a histories of over 100 years. And I want to share with you a little bit my impressions, my thoughts before coming here, because many times when you would think, hey, it's probably going to be a little bit hard to get around. It's probably going to be perhaps even hard to get into the country, like some people on a transit visa, they require you to have a little bit more documentation, like where you're going to be staying, what you're going to be doing. And generally, if you're just following Western news, you might think that the city is going to be a little bit, you're going to be watched. Perhaps you might have the expectation that everything is going to be extremely controlled. And there's many cities I've been to, and all of them have a bit of a different vibe. Like Singapore has some crazy laws which are usually not really enforced. You're not even allowed to have gum, things like that. But when you think of China, you think like, oh, there's cameras everywhere, oh, the immigration. And I have to tell you that, first of all, first video I've covered it, immigration was one of the smoothest process. And I don't want to say like, hey, I don't want this to be one of those videos where it's like, oh, everybody was so kind, everybody was so nice, I love the people, love the culture. Like the typical travel video where no matter where you go, there's always the kindness and the nicest people. I want to share with you more of a feeling. Shanghai Airport. Back at it again. Alright. So having to leave China quickly. I think this might be right now the latest hotel airport departure. You see it's early, it's like 6 a.m. Latest airport departure in a long time. I left like 2 hours maybe before the flight, 15-minute drive. I checked, you can check in for international flights here until like 60 minutes before departure, which is good. So let's pass all the immigration, everything, make sure we don't get stuck anywhere, and then talk about the time here. So made it through immigration. Everything was super smooth, super quick, pretty much like on the way of getting here. So I wanted to take the time a little bit to wrap up this trip, talk a little bit about it, what were the expectations for it. It was in some ways somewhat spontaneous. I was in Asia, I was planning to go to Europe for summer, and I thought, hey, what are some places I wanted to go to that I haven't been to, that I'm just kind of curious to see how they are, how they feel. Much more, not in terms of like, maybe some of you know, I know a good bit about China. I've been in Hong Kong many times, been to China, know a lot about the country, the history, but you can only know so much without ever really being there for a while. That gives you another first layer. The next layer would be like really staying longer, coming back a lot, perhaps living there for a while. And I have to tell you, just to kind of like review a little bit. So we arrived here in the same airport. I'm just trying not to miss my gate. Flying to Seoul, Korea right now actually. Also excited about the contrast, the differences. So I arrived here, and honestly, just from the general perception in most of the world, China seems fairly restrictive, be it in terms of what you see communicated about, like generally the environment, but even more so like just traveling there. Like visas back in the day you had to get, maybe you can get a transit visa for 3 days, 6 days, but then they want to see like every day of your hotel booking, things like that. And I have to tell you that just arriving here was pretty easy, pretty smooth, quickly through immigration. Young people working at immigration, no questions asked, depending on your passport. So if you come like without the visa, either a transit visa or for like a good bunch, I think over 10 different nations, you can get a 15-day visa. So coming in, all of that, good impressions. And what I'm realizing right away is that Chinese people are pretty chill in many ways, in the sense that people smoke everywhere, people cross the street when there's not a green light shining. Most people you talk to, they were pretty chill. Like you see drones flying in a lot of places, and the situation on the ground very often is quite different from what you think how it might be. Just also walking on the street, everything is very organized, everything is working, and I'm sure people are very hesitant to go kind of like against let's say, you know where the line is, so to say. But in terms of traveling, it was a pretty easy and chill experience. I like to call that kind of like a certain soft freedom. Like, yes, there is police in many places, less than in many other big cities, much less honestly, like on the main squares perhaps, but most of that, it almost like there's certain self-regulation going on. So most of the other neighborhoods I visited in Shanghai are just working. And so it was kind of like a nice mix of a certain safety, whereas at the same time it's not an actively enforced one. Like I never felt like I'm being watched, like in many different countries. Like I'm just coming from Philippines. If you're in a big city, like you're gonna be watched non-stop by security guards on every corner. Let's see, is that my flight? Yep, I'm gonna be boarding soon. And so that for me was very positive, because I didn't know, I was never to Shanghai. It's a big city, it's a big money place in China, and you might think that everything is gonna be kind of like, you know, there's gonna be security everywhere. They're gonna tell you, hey, you can do this, you can do that, not do that. And like, it's not like I want to do something. I don't want to do anything. I just want to have like a certain chill environment. It's like in many places like Singapore, perhaps Dubai, you hear they have strict laws, and you would think like, oh no, if they're gonna see me like in Dubai holding hands with somebody, oh no, if they're gonna catch me with some gum in Singapore, I'm done. But the reality looks actually quite different. And then there is other places where, like even in Europe, some countries, people kind of like monitor each other. They watch what you're doing. Like even and Shanghai very much had like a certain big city anonymity going on to it. So as you see, if you're new here on the channel by any chance, I talk a lot about building a life of freedom around the world. And while China perhaps in terms of like living, if there would be some opportunity, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to spending more time here. But at the same time, in terms of traveling, I have to say it was very, very chill. And just to review a little bit, I arrived in Shanghai and went first to the Bund Area. Skyline is crazy, it's beautiful. You have the old Shanghai, you have the new Shanghai. And then I dived into the city, and I went to so many different neighborhoods where I was like, wow, first of all, many neighborhoods are kind of like European influenced from back in the 20th century, like French, English, lots of old buildings, lots of people used to live in Shanghai. It's one of the, let's say, yeah, cities that has been more influenced by that. And that was really interesting, because it's not just like a new city, just concrete buildings, just like pulled up in the last couple of years, but actually has a lot of history, and you feel it. And I think depending on your personal taste, I don't have like a big preference. I like the big city. I like cute little streets with old houses, with nice cafes. What I had mixed feelings about is that many of the famous streets, they're like a super like photo hotspot, especially for local tourism. So like the energy there is a little bit like not like day to day. People are just sitting there enjoying their coffee, but everybody's crazy about kind of like, well, it's probably like a hype status place to go there. Certain streets, the Wukong Street. Some locals recommended it to me. They were like, "Oh wow, it's so nice. There's like, it looks like Europe." And I'm like, "Yeah, kind of. It does a little bit." But at the same time, for me, some nice cafes. If you're into that, I would recommend it. For me, it was actually much more interesting to see kind of like the busy business districts, the old streets, some of the Chinese markets, and that as well in the middle of the city. It is just regular, real China life, markets, food, and nowhere where I went. And I went from north to south. I haven't filmed all. Sometimes I just walked around, explored a bit. I have to tell, there was not a single area where I was like, oh, here it's not so nice, which actually surprised me. I'm sure probably there is if you like drive out, just like more regular, perhaps not like extremely well maintained like everything I have seen. And yeah, generally I would say China for me is very interesting in the sense that there is this perception that it's very restrictive on the outside, and whereas me personally, I would not mess around with like doing anything wrong here. At the same time, a certain soft freedom is there, especially for like a trip, a visit. Let's sit down here. Just trying to walk away from the noise. And I'm definitely will be back. I mean, like, there's many other big cities that I think would be also very interesting, because Shanghai is fairly international, which is great if it's like a first-time visit. But at the same time, perhaps I was missing a little bit that certain edge. And I've actually went to the neighboring city of Suzhou. And one thing, it's one of the loudest projecting vocal like environments. Like people speak really loud, but like casually. It's not like people are not trying to yell. And that's just how it is, which is quite interesting. And generally, to me, it feels a little bit closer to home in a weird way. Like many Asian nations, the vibe is very different. Like let's say my roots are Eastern European. I lived in Europe, lived in the US. And with that, many countries I go to, I just don't feel as... It's different. It's interesting. But in China, there is almost a certain... There is an Eastern European flavor in the way of communication and the way of certain social nuances. I'm sure there's big differences as well, but you feel a certain, like also, like I talked to a couple of locals about the world, and there is a funny thing going on. They're like, yeah, in public you better don't say that, which reminds me of being in countries like Belarus, for example, where yeah, in public you better don't say that. And I don't know, I'm probably not getting myself into any trouble with it. I don't want to make it like a political discussion in any way, because I'm not far away from being educated enough on doing that. But for me, it was very interesting how it's going to be feeling to just walk through the city, to stay in a couple of different neighborhoods. And in terms of everything, this is probably one of my favorite big cities in the world. Shanghai, definitely top 3, 5. Like let's say places like Bangkok perhaps probably offer a bit more value, a lot more. Like Shanghai is not a cheap city, but it's definitely not like an extremely expensive one. Like where I'm going to Seoul right now, yeah, you can get like a hostel for $50, I think. So it's not cheap. Seoul. Shanghai, especially when I went to Suzhou, like one night I got a quick hotel, and generally food on the streets, everything else. Taxis are cheaper than Thailand or where was I? Philippines or something. I drove to the airport now for $15. Throughout the city I was driving around for like $3-4. For like not short trips necessarily. Usually I like to be the last one to board, so let's just hang out a bit more. The only downside that there is perhaps is that most people don't speak English, which is a downside in the sense of like ease of travel. I don't think it's a problem. Most people are used to using Google Translate. It's just sometimes it's quite funny actually. Like you speak English. Like English is not my native tongue. I don't really have a native tongue so much because like I grew up speaking Russian, but it's far from being my best language, like English, hopefully, is for a long time already. But what I mean is like they speak Chinese to you, a lot of people, because that's the only thing they can do. And it's the same way, like people who can only speak English anywhere in the world. They're at the end of the world, and that's just the only language they can say something. So many situations where people just speak to you Chinese, they expect you to understand it. You speak to them English, you expect them to understand it. But with Google Translate, and generally also to speak about the sentiment, like with so many travel videos you're watching, there's always like, oh my God, the people were so kind, so loving, so warm. And I think people are people everywhere, and there is certain nuances. There is certain countries, due to certain history or certain environment they're in now or have been in recent times, where there might be perhaps more warmth or more attention, less attention, care more about you as a visitor, care less about you. Of course, there's also often a lot of pride. Like, let's say when somebody comes to visit a country, many people feel like the desire to present the country from the best side, and I think that's a beautiful thing in many ways. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to do those videos where it's like, oh my God, the people were so kind. But what I can say is everybody I talked to, like at the hotel I stayed, a couple people that I met, local, they all were pretty chill, like Eastern European vibe chill. Like you talk to some Europeans, some Central Europeans, and there's often like a very much like, oh, this, what if everybody would do that? But that's against the rules. That is not good. It's like, well, is it harming anybody? Is it like I don't want to give you very specific instances. I'm talking very small things like in New York, everybody walks on red, and like this was one of the examples I can give you. For example, like if there's no cars, are you like harming the world by like crossing the street every once in a while on red? And you might think like in China, it's like, oh no, there's cameras everywhere, and probably there is. That also can do like you can get fined, I'm sure. And I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying that the general population is like, well, come on, like sometimes if I need to cross, I cross, and it is what it is. Like, try and stop me. Oh, what if everybody is gonna do that? Well, not everybody is gonna do that. And it's like, for me, that is really a big cultural question of how is soft freedom? How are people? And I have to say that I knew a couple of Chinese people throughout my life, and now I have spent a little bit more time, a little first taste. And I have to say, China, you have been good. You've been pretty good, for real. Easy, professional. Where's my passport? Oppa. And so we are riding out. I almost could have done a couple more days. It's funny, back in the day they only offered 6 days transit visa. And I was like, nah, that's way too short. Now I ended up staying 8 days. I feel like a strategist, planning genius. But yeah, a couple days in Seoul. It's gonna be 3 nights, pretty much 3 full days. Quite excited about another country I wanted to visit for quite a while. Another little map to unlock for now, just get a little flavor. Probably not as much as in Shanghai, but yeah, definitely will be back, probably even this year, next year. So overall, even though the video was a bit of a clickbait, I have to tell you, I had an absolute smooth and relaxed experience coming to China, traveling through 2 of the major cities. You can check out all the videos below. Will put together a full guide, a full experience video, which is coming next. It's a huge country, there's much more to see, so I definitely see myself coming back in the near future. If you want to see where I am right now, join me on Instagram, and with that, you too got a world to see.